Now, isn't that curious? It seems thanks to the translation from the Axel, or I should say Lea Character Files within the Kingdom Hearts Character Files book, we finally know the identity, or we can single out the identity of the mysterious Subject X. And with this supposed final revelation on the identity of this experiment, we can go forward with some rather horrific and possibly touching moments of the past in Kingdom Hearts and the series' future. Hey guys, it's HMK once again with another Kingdom Hearts video dealing with the past and the future of the Kingdom Hearts series, dealing with Union Cross and what lies beyond Kingdom Hearts 3 ReMind. This is going to be an interesting one where you're going to have to take a lot in. So for the safety of hype, I'm going to ask you to strap on in. Let's dive directly into the 5th dimension. Now, this interesting tidbit that's getting us off the rails on who we think that we finally might think who Subject X is coming from a translated piece from the Axel Lea Character Files in Kingdom Hearts Character Files that was translated by Coded by Days. I really like that name. It's stated in an excerpt from the Axel Lea story that alongside Kairi, he trained to be a Keyblade wielder in the Secret Forest. He was able to reunite with Roxas, Xion, and Isa, but is still worried about the black-haired girl he met as a boy. And this is legit. I mean, check out this translation that I was able to plug into Google Translate on black hair, and it's right there within the page. Now this is huge because the only characteristics that we really knew about when it comes to Subject X was the fact that she was a female, approximately 15 years old. And that fits the bill for a couple of Kingdom Hearts characters, but when we throw the black hair into the mix, it can only be one character. And yes, it looks like that it is confirmed to be Skuld, one of the Union leaders from the time of Union Cross. Oh man, looks like we're getting some more Union Cross flavors going forward into Kingdom Hearts 3. And while many of us really did speculate and it was near unanimous that we thought it was indeed Skuld, there are other candidates to play Devil's Advocate, which includes Stritlexia, but now that we know that Subject X has black hair, that is out of the bag. And of course Ava, as they both fit the bill of around 15 years old. They seem pretty young, around the standard age of, important characters when it comes to the Kingdom Hearts series. And since we don't really know the features of Ava behind her hood and mask, she could have black hair, but I doubt they're gonna throw in a characteristic like that of a character we don't know about in order to link the two. We know Skuld. We see that Skuld has black hair. And with various entries made by Lushu in the secret reports in Kingdom Hearts 3, it doesn't really corroborate well with the notion that Subject X could be Master Ava. If you're still confused on the whole notion of Subject X and you're asking what Subject X is, don't worry, I have you covered. Subject X, the long and short of it, is one of the humans that was experimented on over at Ansem the Wise's castle in Radiant Garden, primarily by Xehanort during his time as an apprentice to Ansem the Wise after he took over Terra's body and lost his memories. As it turns out, it is revealed that this subject, this mysterious girl, is the main reason why Isa and Lea wanted to join the organization, or I should say become apprentices to Ansem the Wise. At first they wanted to sneak into the castle because they were super curious on what was going on there. In one of their visits, they encountered Subject X. With this mysterious girl trapped within the deep dungeons of Ansem's castle, Isa and Lea would infiltrate the castle every now and again in order to talk with her and hopefully help her. As it turns out, apparently Lea did remember a characteristic of hers that was unknown to this point, that her hair was indeed black. At one point during one visit, she was gone. Ansem the Wise had ordered apprentice Xehanort to cease his experimentations and to destroy all of his research, along with finally releasing all of his subjects. It is at this point that Subject X went missing, and that apprentice Xehanort thought that Ansem the Wise had hidden her away. Spinning off that, Isa and Lea assumed that Ansem the Wise and the other researchers, the other apprentices, would know of her whereabouts. So that's why they decided to become apprentices to Ansem the Wise, which also led to them being part of the Organization 13. In which their main goal for Axel to help Saïx get to the top of the organization was to find out the information they needed to help find the girl. As it turns out, thanks to the secret reports, Ansem the Wise didn't really have anything to do with letting out Subject X, as it is a man with an eye patch that let her out. And we all know who fits that description. That's right, Xigbar. And it makes the most sense too, considering that Xigbar is actually Luxu, so that these two characters share some history concerning Union Cross. But how does she end up in the situation that she's in? As from what we know with the secret reports and the fact that she might be Skuld, she, along with other characters from the time of Union Cross, eventually did make their way to the current time of Kingdom Hearts as we know it. As according to the secret reports within Kingdom Hearts 3, she was found in the square of Radiant Garden shortly after dawn, which goes in line with, her being from Daybreak Town. However, her biggest problem is that she has lost many of her memories. She doesn't even know who she is. The only thing she can remember very faintly are 4 friends, a key, and the famous words, "May your heart be your guiding key." And this is why Apprentice Xehanort experimented on her. Seeing her as something of a kindred spirit, he hoped to help her regain her memories just as he lost his and to regain his. And though he didn't really get far, he was able to get enough information to know that she came from a world long bygone from the age of fairy tales, and that she may have indeed traveled from said past. And for a while back, we didn't really understand or know how Skuld and the others could find their way from the past to the current present, up until the advent of this mysterious machine that we called the Ark. However, it turns out the actual translation is the lifeboat. No, disregard. It turns out this machine is capable of taking those from the past to the future, and it was shown off by the Darkness to Maleficent in order to help get her back to her current time. And as it turns out, she was successful. And it looks like this machine will indeed be used by the Union leaders in order to get to the future, their future, from what could be a huge calamity, possibly the Break. And as we do know, the people within the present time of Kingdom Hearts that came from Union Cross are indeed Ventus, Lauriam, who is now Marluxia, who probably is now Lauriam again, Elrena, who became Larxene but is now probably Elrena again, and Ephemer in some way, shape, or form or state. That's still part of the big mystery. And with Skuld's identity out of the bag, that leaves the only fate that we don't really know about is Brain. But with that case, I want to hold on and believe the theory that Brain did indeed stay behind and start a bloodline which eventually would lead to Ericus of our time. As it is confirmed by young Xehanort in the secret reports that Ericus is a blue blood, someone who is descended from the first line of Keyblade wielders, one of the Union leaders from the time of Union Cross. So it would make sense if Brain did indeed stay behind. So there you have it. It turns out, thanks to Axel and Lee's character file within the Kingdom Hearts character files, that it is indeed Skuld who is Subject X, thanks to the characteristic of black hair. However, I do want to pick your brain for just a moment. Now, this isn't exactly a theory, but more of a reference-laced speculation, because I will admit the timeline wouldn't add up for this to be a reality. But hear me out. Let us talk about Xion for a little bit. Why Xion? You'll see. As we all know, Xion is an imperfect replica of Sora that gained her appearance thanks to Sora's strongest memory being Kairi. But as we all know, Xion's appearance could change depending on the person that's looking at her, as Xigbar sees her as Ventus. Now take that into account for a bit, because the reason why Xion looked to Roxas is because Roxas sees her as Kairi, Sora's strongest memory. However, she does have a very defining characteristic about her that does not belong to Kairi, and that is her black hair. With this whole notion of Xion being influenced by people's strongest memories, especially those who are very much connected to her, what if the truth behind Xion's black hair is a mixture between the strongest memories that her two best friends see her as? With Roxas seeing her face as Kairi's thanks to him being Sora's nobody, and with Axel seeing her with black hair thanks to the strong memory of why he is in the organization in the first place, to save the black-haired girl. Now once again, I like to reiterate that the timeline does not add up for this being a reality, but what if? And here is where the rabbit hole gets even deeper. As it turns out, Xion's black hair was actually a characteristic request made by Tomoko Kanamaki, who is the author of the Kingdom Hearts novels and has worked with Tetsuya Nomura before, being one of the scenario writers for Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2. Kanamaki was even the one that coined Shion's name. Now, why am I bringing this up? What does this have to do with anything? Well, because the Kingdom Hearts character files had contributions from Tomoko Kanamaki. Just some food for thought from the 5th dimension. So what do you guys think about this revelation of Skuld apparently being Subject X? The big main question that's left now is, where is she now? Leave your thoughts and theories in the comments section below, and be sure to share up the video to keep the conversation going. Be sure to like and subscribe as I post videos every week. Big thanks to my Patreon supporters for helping making this video happen. If you want to find out how you can support HMK for just $1 a month, please check out my Patreon page. Alright guys, until the next video, this has been HMK, and signing off from the 5th dimension. I'll check you guys later.
So you haven't subscribed to HMK yet? Don't piss Xemnas off.